So one of the props, a couple of kicking props actually. One of the props that I've bet at already is over 6.5 punts. I think we see both offenses punt on their first possession, which I think is something else you can bet in here if you can find it in the Cheesecake Factory style menu on DK Sportsbook. But over 6.5 punts. I think both teams come out a little slow. I think we see a couple on the first possessions, maybe another one in the first quarter. You get to 3 in the first quarter. Now you only need a few more the rest of the way. Both teams have punted 10 times so far in their 3 playoff games. So you combine those, you're looking at, 6 2/3 punts per game. So mathematically speaking, you're just over that number of 6.5. But I think the slow start is what helps it ultimately get there. One of my favorite props, we talked about this on the Unreasonable Odds podcast with professional sports handicapper Bill Krakenberger, who also was on 6.5 punts. The opening kickoff at plus money to not be a touchback. If you want to go back in history here, 7 of the last 8 Super Bowls, the opening kickoff has been returned. This one gets a little dicey because the kick was moved forward in recent years. But over the last 28 Super Bowls, 26 opening kickoffs have been returned. The kickoff comes out of the end zone. They want that for the way that it looks for the game. You have the nerves when the kicker is kicking off, all the flashes in the crowd. And then you have the ball. The ball is not given to the kicker beforehand. It is cracked brand new out of the box, placed there, and as soon as the kickoff is over, it is brought to the Hall of Fame. So Pat McAfee in the past, who was kicked off in the Super Bowl, said it was like kicking a brick. It doesn't get to the end zone. Plus money. This one used to be like getting plus 300 here. It's plus 110. The opening kickoff will not be a touchback.
Dang. Steve, you got a fun strategy like that?
This camera shot again.
It's really.
Why don't you start
really
to just
good.
expect it? They've done it every time.
Well, you think that when you're complaining about it, just do this one. Do this one now. Change it. Thank you. Thank you very much. These people back here.
Don't look at me.
I'm not going to answer until you change it back. Thank you. Okay. Now, what are we talking about?
We're talking about which bets you would back based off the strategy and how you see this game playing out that you shared moments ago.
Yeah, so there's one bet here too, and obviously you're going to be laying some juice, but some of these ones that if you're laying some juice, if there's reason to like it, I still have no problem taking that, is the Bengals to convert a 4th down conversion. They are 13 for 20 on this during the regular season and the playoffs. That's a 65% conversion rate. That's the 3rd best in the league behind the Chiefs and the Ravens, 25th in attempts as well. If you think the Rams are going to win this game or be ahead, the Bengals have to make something happen on offense here. So for them going for it on 4th down and making that, you only need them to get 1. It's that minus 175. So again, a little bit of juice here that we're talking about, but it feels like a low number for something that this team has not only done well, but have done it often in these type of situations as well. We talk about that slow start. If the Rams do get out to an early lead, the Bengals could maybe try to do this here. So I do like that there at minus 175 to make a convert a 4th down play.
Okay.
Did you say they're 13 of 20 on the season?
Correct.
So you want to lay minus 175 on something the Bengals have done in 13 times in 20 games?
That's what I said.
God, you're dumb.
Okay.
At unreasonable odds. To see this odd couple.
I was just gonna say I love their connection, their relationship, which you can hear on the Unreasonable Odds podcast. But there's no S right on the Twitter handle, Reid.
Drop the S on Twitter.
Go ahead, bud.
So based off of the question, I think we're going to talk about props in a little bit, but I like those 2 props. That kicking one is awesome, Julian. That's crazy. But the under 48.5, like I mentioned, just because I think the Rams D-line creates a game script that we're not going to get a lot of these massive plays from Joe Burrow. It's still going to happen, right? We're still going to get those, but not as much as we've seen. Cincy taking the air of the ball, too. We've seen long drives from Cincy. And then the Rams' money line. Look, this is like the Bengals they might just be the team that's fated to win this Super Bowl in this season. That's great. But I still think when I take a look at the numbers and just how the Rams match up with Cincinnati, taking a side is really tough. If I want to get the points, if I want to take a side, then yeah, absolutely. I think Cincinnati is the right bet. But Rams' money line just feels like the one, and I've been betting against the Bengals. Why stop now? So give me the Rams' money line.